Hey everybody, welcome to another off-the-shelf board game review. This week we're looking at Blood Bowl from Games Workshop, the 2016 edition of the rules. Now Blood Bowl is what happened is if you had fantasy football in a fantasy world, or at least what would happen if a 900-year-old half-blind drunk dwarf found the rules in the NFL and tried to teach it to all the races of the world. Because this is fantasy football with a little bit of a violent edge, where the humans, the orcs, the skavens, and every other creature of the world, instead of going to war and fighting each other, decided that football is the answer to everything. Enough will be praised. The players playing the game are referred to the coaches because the pieces on the board are the players, and the game is all about the players playing the game. See, Blood Bowl isn't about rolling the dice to get stats and see if you get a successful block to knock another player over, throw him down, or even send him to the knockout bin, or heck, even cause a casualty, because that's not what Blood Bowl is about. Blood Bowl, like real football, is about the teams, the players, and rooting for your favorite player, rooting for your favorite team, and going from the lowly beginnings of a starting team all the way up to the end game to go out to the fantastic, or as we should call it, go out for the Blood Bowl itself, which in NFL we'd call the Super Bowl, but in the fantasy world we call it Blood Bowl because violence is the name of the game, whether you can take your players out or just happen to injure them, throwing them down on the field. This is a game all about the violence and the fun and watching your team go from the lowly beginnings all the way up to the most fantastic team in the Blood Bowl world. See, the game of Blood Bowl itself is a really simple game. The game has been around for 30 years and the rules have been very much polished, and it's a very well-designed, polished game. I mean, after 30 years, the game is either going to be fantastic or it's going to be long forgotten, and I can tell you Blood Bowl is definitely a game that is not long forgotten. See, in Blood Bowl, the way the game is going to work, players are going to be basically using blocking dice to try to take out other players to make openings, because this is football, and what we're trying to do in football is we're trying to score touchdowns by getting a player with the ball into the end zone so we can start dancing and screaming and hollering like you do in most football games. But the game is also deeper than that. There's also more to the Blood Bowl than just that. Because like I said, this is a game where you're going to start off with a lowly team. You start off with 1,000,000 credits or $1 million, and you're trying to build your team up from lowly beginnings, where you're going to get star players. You're going to go through many games. Your players are going to become more experienced, become better. They're going to go from the lowly unknown linemen to major star players who everybody knows. They know their name because of the fantastic feats they've always managed to accomplish. But the fun of the game doesn't end there, because your great fantastic lineman may get injured, may get knocked out, and you're going to have tons of stories to tell throughout the entire Blood Bowl season as you play out many games versus many players, where you have your simple orc team who starts off as the unknown orc team to become the fantastic, the Orcland Raiders. Or maybe you may have your dark elf team who starts off as the unknown dark elf team and eventually become the Darkside Cowboys. Or maybe you may have your undead team who may become your starting off as your undead team, but eventually be known as the world famous Mines of Soda Vile Kings. That's the fun of Blood Bowl, having a fantastic fantasy world that mimics the real world but adds in a little bit of violence and keeps that fantastic fantasy flair with some pretty solid rules that involves dice, a little bit of randomness, a little bit of pushing your luck, and knowing how to beat the odds to become the best player, the best team, and defeat your opponents with certain things such as using knuckle dusters, which are going to allow you to sneak different things on the board, certain vile tactics such as having rowdy fans that are going to assist your team to go out there and do better things, because this is a living, breathing world and a living, breathing game that goes from simple beginnings to long-standing stories that you'll never forget. You can talk about the rules using the throwing templates, having the ball thrown back in and everything like that, but just understand the best thing about Blood Bowl, the game is 30 years old, the rules are very solid, but the best fun about Blood Bowl is the stories you get from taking your lowly team and going up through the ages and winning the Blood Bowl to become the best team in the whole Blood Bowl world. Now, if you want to learn how to play Blood Bowl, check out my full tutorial video where I'll show you exactly how to play the game. I'm going to do pretty much everything except show you how to build a team, because probably something that's a little bit beyond the scope of a video. It's going to be a little bit boring, and plus it's just one simple page in the rule book. Once you understand the rules, you can pretty much pick it out and figure out how to play the game and go into league play and create your own teams. After my tutorial video, check out my full gameplay video where you're going to see the gouged eye playing the Reichland Reavers for the Grand Cup of the Blood Bowl. Or if you want, you can just skip all that and check out my full review of Blood Bowl the game. Hope you enjoy this video. I hope you enjoy this video series. If you like this video series, make sure you click that like button, click that subscribe button, and also make sure you pay a little bit of attention, because there may be a free giveaway somewhere mentioned in one of these videos for these very popular and very hard to get Skaven dice. Check out the videos to see how to win that, and as always, thanks for watching.